In this video series, guys, we are going to go through the most common questions that you get during your Web3 job interview. And let's start with the question number one. What is the difference between a centralized and a decentralized exchange? Now, this question can become quite tricky, although the answer is very straightforward. Centralized exchange has a central authority that basically takes care of the security of the deposits, withdrawals, and everything related to the exchange. They basically own the users and they own the assets, while a decentralized exchange allows users to basically connect their Web3 wallets and basically perform different actions that a decentralized exchange offers, such as provide liquidity into liquidity pools, perform swaps, and do other things on the decentralized exchange. Let's go and see what is the actual and the practical difference from the user's perspective. Let's assume that I want to make an account on a centralized exchange. So let's just go to CoinMarketCap and let's choose any random exchange that we want to, right? So for example, I go to Spot. Now the thing is that I already own a few accounts on different exchanges, so I have to choose one that I still don't have an account on, and one of those would be Gemini. For example, I don't have an account on Gemini and I'm not familiar with that exchange. Once we land on the official website, we will click get started and basically try to create an account and see how difficult or how easy it might be. And voila, look, not available yet. So Gemini doesn't currently operate in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So the thing is that it doesn't work in the country, right? And that's it. You're not able to create an account because exchanges follow local rules and regulations. And let's say in the country where I'm currently located, they don't allow to create an account. As simple as that. Let's choose a different country. For instance, let's choose Germany and click on apply. And we have the same issue. Gemini doesn't currently operate in Germany. And that's how you can really see how centralized exchanges actually differ from decentralized exchanges. Let's try to perform exact same action on a decentralized exchange. I'm now on Pancakeswap.finance website, which is basically a decentralized exchange for a Binance Smart Chain. And we are trying to register, which essentially doesn't even exist on the decentralized exchange. All you have to do is basically you have to click on a wallet and you click connect. Now I'm already registered, so I'm already logged in, so I don't have to do that. But if I would do that, I would click connect wallet and then I would select my decentralized wallet. Click MetaMask, and that's it, guys. You already connected, basically registered, and you can now perform different actions. So for example, I can go to trade, swap, and I can swap the assets that I'm willing to swap. So there is a huge difference, as you can see, right? Centralized exchanges, they basically have a lot of rules and regulations for you, while decentralized exchange have nothing. You have a full anonymity. On the centralized exchange, you don't have that anonymity. Let me give you a second example. I would go now to Binance.com. I just logged into my Binance account, and here I will try to deposit a coin. How can I deposit a coin on Binance exchange? First, of course, I have to select a coin which I want to deposit. Let's say I want to select ADA, and I have to select a network. So centralized exchanges work with different networks, kind of similar to what decentralized exchanges do. So I can deposit ADA on, for instance, a Binance Smart Chain network. I don't have the address yet, and I have to click generate address. And essentially, a centralized exchange assigns you an address. This is a sub-address of their main wallet, right? What does it mean? It means that you don't own the funds that you basically deposit. Now, when you deposit your funds into a Binance or any decentralized exchange, the funds are owned by the exchange itself. So yes, you will see your funds appear on your account in case if an exchange goes bust or if something else happens with the exchange, try to get scammed and so on, you might not see your money never again. In contrast, if you're on a decentralized exchange such as Pancakeswap, you don't have to deposit anywhere. There is only one wallet, is the wallet that you connected, and then you're able to basically swap actions. And once you swap coins, and once you swap those coins immediately appear in your personal wallet. There is no any intermediate step in between. Let's go to the second comparison point, and this is the liquidity. I want to illustrate this by basically going to PancakeSwap and in trying to swap coins which are not entirely popular. Let's say we select USDT, and here we select another coin such as XLR, right? And let's assume that we want to buy 20,000, which is not a big amount of money in the crypto space, worth of XLR. Okay, and as you can see here down at the bottom of the screen, we can see price impact 12%. And we have this number 12%, which means that if we were to buy XLR using USDT, we might impact the price of the XLR token on the Pancakeswap exchange by 12%. So first of all, we would get this token for a very bad price because I bet that this token also exists on other exchanges for a better price. Yeah, so basically we would get less for our money. And this happens because there is not enough liquidity for certain pairs on decentralized exchanges. How decentralized exchanges operate is that you have to provide liquidity in the pools, right? So people who provide liquidity in the pools, they're here to help doing the swap. If we are here on the Forms website, we can basically provide liquidity for, let's say, Cake, USD, USDC, or basically any other pair. And then people who would swap those coins, they would have a better price, or simply they would have more liquidity to swap. Now, on centralized exchanges, as you know, that doesn't happen. You can go to a centralized exchange and you can go trade and select spot, and basically even if you buy 20,000 worth of coins, let's say Bitcoin or any other coin, you will not impact the price by that much, or you will not impact the price at all. Moreover, another point is that on centralized exchanges, you have order books, right? So for instance, whenever you're trying to buy or sell a coin, your order will be matched with another order that already exists on the exchange. In decentralized exchanges, that might be the case. There are decentralized exchanges that have order books. However, the majority of them, they operate during using liquidity pools, and they don't have order books yet. Now, another extremely important aspect when compared decentralized and centralized exchanges are the security measures. So centralized exchanges are much more prone to attack because they hold users' funds, right? So the attackers, they know that, and they try to find the ways on how they can attack basically the exchange and put it down, basically steal your funds or steal the access to their main wallet. For this reason, centralized exchanges, they implement a huge, very important security measures to basically avoid that. Now, you probably know that if you have a Binance account, Coinbase, or any other big centralized exchange, we have a two-factor authentication. You have to have a phone verification, you have to have an email verification, you have to sometimes have even Google authentication or any other form of two-factor authentication. And sometimes you need to have a trading password, and only then you're able to perform transactions, withdraw your money, and do any other sorts of action. Well, on these centralized exchanges, that doesn't happen because centralized exchanges, they don't hold your liquidity. To finalize this point, I would actually like to go to Google and then basically type Pancakeswap on Google. So we can see that the very first link actually corresponds to the official link, but if we scroll down, we would probably see some other websites that try to imitate Pancakeswap. At the moment, I cannot see them, but sometimes you might see them. If you put a name of your favorite decentralized exchange, sometimes you have to, for example, AutoFarm. I remember that this happened a while ago, right? AutoFarm network, that's the official one, and there is now they already removed that. Yeah, so actually Google is taking action, right? But what happens often is that there are many people who try to kind of create fake websites just to lure people in. They would try to get people log in with their decentralized wallet account in order to steal their data. That's basically the most popular point of attack for decentralized exchange. And last comparison point is the customer support. So on decentralized exchange, you basically don't have any customer support. You have to know all the actions that you want to do. And especially if you do any mistake, you do any action, you cannot reverse it, and you cannot ask anybody basically to help you to resolve it, right? Let's say you provided a liquidity into a pair that doesn't exist, or you provide a liquidity into a pair that's a fake pair, right? And the owner of this pair, they have a smart contract that can basically steal all the funds from this liquidity pair. And if they steal those funds, you cannot do anything, right? You can try to contact owners of the decentralized exchange, but most probably they also cannot do anything, and they won't even respond you to that matter. However, for some of the exchanges, especially if you're a beginner or intermediate user, that might be more helpful. The customer support will be much more helpful. Let's assume that you choose a wrong chain to send your tokens on centralized exchange, and then your tokens left your MetaMask wallet and you landed into a wallet of a centralized exchange, and that's it. But this wallet is wrong, right? You do not see your tokens on the front-end application. What you can do, you can simply scroll down, you choose a support option, and centralized exchanges, they will help you within the same day. Usually you can either create a ticket, chat, or even call them from time to time, right? If they have a number available. And they will solve your issue, right? Or if they cannot solve your issue, they will explain how you could solve that issue potentially. So this is a big advantage on centralized exchange, especially if you're a beginner or if you're an intermediate crypto user. However, there are a lot of discussion right now in the crypto space, and people are more prone to use decentralized exchanges because they're simply decentralized. You can understand everything that's happened on decentralized exchanges by simply investigating their code. Code is public on decentralized exchanges. So all the smart contracts for liquidity pairs, for swapping, or any other actions that you might find on decentralized exchanges, it's public. So if you're a developer or you have a developer friends, you can say, hey, could you please let me know if their code contains any issues? Or maybe, before providing liquidity, you could even find a liquidity contract and see whether it has some issues if you understand code. And that's a big, big plus, right? Because you don't have to trust anybody. You can verify yourself, or you can trust an audit, because most of the decentralized applications, they have performed at least one audit by an official audit company. So basically, GitHub is a website where you can find all the code for decentralized application. Let's see here, you can even find the code for the front end, right? So for all the colors and everything that you see on the front end, Pancakeswap provided you with the full code. So you could even copy that one-to-one and launch your own website in minutes. That's a very interesting approach. That's how you could actually learn to code, by simply investigating the website, downloading all the files, and putting on your local computer and trying them out. On a centralized application, that's not possible. Yes, they have a GitHub, but it's definitely private. So now you know how to answer the question when you have to compare decentralized exchanges with centralized exchanges. If you have any other specific question in the crypto space and you would like me to break it down into details, just comment down below, and see you in the next one.